Prepared for you guys. Business has really been picking up for stores in Rochester, and the pandemic, it really impacted the industry because, well, people weren't able to go out and go on dates and meet people. So once things started to open back up a few years ago, people started dating again. And now those couples who have been dating for about 2 to 3 years, and that's about the average time that it takes before couples are taking that next step. And to do that, you may need a ring. Lasker's Jewelers has been in Rochester for decades. Their staff tells me they're gearing up for a busy next couple of months.
Engagement rings have been part of our business forever, so we do all year long focus on the engagement ring. We do have new collections coming in to feature, the new trends in engagement rings. There's a lot of simple styles that have been timeless forever, and then some newer trends that are a little more modern coming into play now.
And when it comes to paying for the ring, Lasker employees say it's different for all couples, but they recommend all should come into the store with a budget in mind. Here's some video of me trying on some of those rings. I got to be a hand model for the day. The ring I'm putting on right here, you guys, $60,000 price tag. It was the first one I tried on too. They suggested, I'm like, okay, whoa, we're starting big. So that was fun to be able to try out some of the new styles, that blingy rings, those are still in style, but some of the simple ones are too. So kind of, whatever people are looking for. And there's 2 locations in Rochester. I was at the one by Trader Joe's. So that's a store that kind of specializes in engagement rings. And that other store, they have watches and necklaces. So, maybe if you are not shopping for a ring, but you're shopping for maybe something else for the holidays, either option's good.
Yeah, I know our producer is on the hunt for a new watch, so maybe he'll have to go to the other location there.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a perfect place to do that.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Darian. Beautiful rings, by the way.
Oh, yeah. You wear them well.
Thank you.
Happening today, Governor Tim Walz is kicking off a statewide tour highlighting some proposed infrastructure projects ahead of the 2024 legislative session. He's going to be joined by the Minnesota Building and Construction Trades Council President, Dan McConnell. The governor will begin this tour at a St. Paul Community College. That's today, starting at 1 o'clock. On this Monday morning, back to school for a lot of kids in our area after MEA, and parents waking up early too after being maybe off as well.
Yeah, I'm guessing that Ted and I were both feeling the pain of the early alarm after 4 days of sleeping in. How are you doing this morning, Ted, out on the weather patio?
I'm doing okay, a little wet. It is lightly raining here on the weather patio, and it's definitely a cool dampness in the air. Temperatures in the 40s with the cool breeze out here, so we have that going on to start your Monday. Keep that in mind. You'll need some of that rain gear first thing. Not all day, though, just for the next few hours. Here's the current picture from our Lewiston auto camera. Certainly, even without any daylight to show the picture, you see what's happening. There's rain all over the camera lens. It's a wet morning. 48 right now, the temperature out here on the weather patio. The wind is fairly tame breeze. You feel it, but it's not a strong wind, at least. The winds from the south, 9 miles per hour, so it feels like the mid-40s. We have temperatures mainly in the mid and upper 40s across the map. Rochester, 45. Mason City is starting to see things dry out a little bit. It's been rather thunderous there at times this morning with some thunder in the neighborhood, but dry right now. 49 in Mason City, 46 in Winona, and 48 in Charles City. Rain moving from southwest to northeast, at least impact the area for the next couple of hours, and then really tapering off by about 9 o'clock this morning. Beyond that, we'll actually enjoy some sunshine for the vast majority of the day. Here's our bus stop forecast. The way to school, you'll need the rain gear at first, just for the next couple of hours. Showers and 46 on the way home, 64, so invert those numbers, and some sunshine. Nice finish to the day. 65, the overall high temperature later today with some afternoon sunshine after some morning showers. The next few days do look a little unsettled, though. We do have additional rain chances to talk about, and even some thunder still ahead this week. So looking a little different than the weekend was, definitely.
Okay, thank you, Ted. We'll see you in a bit. It has been a little more than 2 weeks since Hamas launched a brutal attack on Israel. Explosions and large plumes of smoke were seen over the northern Gaza Strip following Israeli airstrikes today. Israeli warplanes struck targets across Gaza, including in areas where Palestinian civilians were told to seek refuge. This comes after another small aid shipment was allowed into the Hamas-ruled territory. Israel is expected to launch a ground offensive in Gaza. Tanks and troops have been amassed at the border. Israel says it has stepped up airstrikes in order to reduce the risk to troops in the next stages.
A second convoy of aid trucks has made its way into Gaza, as we just mentioned. At least 17 trucks entered the Egyptian side of the border crossing. That's according to Egyptian security and humanitarian sources. The new round of aid comes after 20 trucks carrying the first supplies of food, water, and medicine entered the enclave since the war began. Health officials have warned that residents need a steady supply of relief to combat a spiraling crisis.
This morning, a new sense of urgency to get hostages free following the release of 2 Americans held in Gaza after nearly 2 weeks in captivity. Just after us on Today, former NBC Bureau Chief Martin Fletcher is speaking out in a live interview on the condition and release of those 2 Americans who are members of his extended family. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says he hopes this is the first of many releases.
We don't know why Hamas chose to release Natalie and Judith first, and I use the word first advisedly because, again, we're hopeful that more follow. I can't speak to that. What I can speak to is our incessant efforts from day one to try to get people home, to try to get them out of Gaza, back with their families and loved ones. That is continuing as we speak. This is something we're engaged in virtually round the clock.
Police are investigating after a man drove his vehicle through a crowd rallying in support of Palestinians. This happened in Minneapolis over the weekend. Police received several reports of disturbances surrounding a demonstration about 3:30 Sunday afternoon. They say a crowd of protesters surrounded the man and began kicking the vehicle before he drove off toward the group of protesters again. When he was stopped a second time, he appeared to lunge at them with a knife or a box cutter. Right now, no arrests have been made, and police are conducting follow-up investigations.
If you missed the start of the annual Wyckoff United Methodist Church clothing drive, there are still some opportunities this week for you to find some needed treasures. The 10th annual clothing giveaway began this weekend at the Wyckoff Commons. All clothing is free for people that need it. Organizers say the community has really shown strong support through donations for this event.
We do all this work and then we think, what if we don't have people that come? But this year, when I came, they were waiting outside the door. And so that makes me feel good. And to see all the smiling faces of the kids and their parents, it means a lot to us.
Making a difference for sure. The drive will continue this week on Wednesday from 4 to 7 p.m. and then again on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 1:30. And any donations that are not taken by the final day will be donated to local nonprofits. It is 6:08 on this Monday morning. A busy start to the week in Washington in the search for a new House Speaker.
We're going to get a live report from D.C. with what you can expect. First, let's check in with meteorologist Ted Schmidt.
A lot of activity on the radar, and we're going to be using the radar a lot this week. There are several rounds of rain headed our way. The full forecast is coming up after the break.
This is a big week in our nation's capital. All eyes are on the House of Representatives.
Yeah, we still don't have a replacement for Kevin McCarthy after he was ousted from the House Speaker seat almost 3 weeks ago. A top story we've been talking about. Our KTTC Washington correspondent Ashanti Ford is joining us again live in D.C. this morning with, of course, the latest on this race and what kind of happens next. Good morning, Ashanti.
Good morning.
Okay, kind of fill us in on who's running in this race. We know quite a few candidates are in the pool, including a Minnesota congressman. So do you know who they are and if there's a clear favorite?
Yeah, absolutely. So Representative Jim Jordan is out, right? We know that. And 9 people have replaced him in this run for House Speaker. House Republicans will meet tonight, and then we'll see another vote Tuesday morning. The winner will need at least 113 yeses at that point to move forward to the floor vote. This is going to be the 4th voting session we've seen in the last week or so. So we know that it's very possible that we may have to see several before a speaker is actually named. And you are correct. Those 9 people have been announced. We have Majority Whip Tom Emner, Minnesota GOP Conference Vice Chair Mike Johnson of Louisiana, Jack Bergman of Michigan, Byron Donalds of Florida, Kevin Hern, Oklahoma, Dan User, Pennsylvania, Gary Palmer, Alabama, Austin Scott, Georgia. Oh man, well, that was a mouthful, right? So we know that on the Democratic side, though, Hakeem Jeffries is pretty much set. Their vote has been pretty consistent across the board. For Republicans, though, it's a little bit different. Again, we have those 9 folks that I just mentioned who are hoping to not only win that internal vote, but the floor vote, which we know from seeing last week, Representative Jim Jordan couldn't get past that. And there is some concern that this new batch of Republicans running won't be able to muster up that 217 majority vote either. But let's see how this week turns out.
All right, the next chapter in this saga, I guess we can call it. Shanta, it is the start of a new week. So what is on the president's agenda?
Busy plate for him, right? This week, President Biden will meet with the Australian Prime Minister. That's Anthony Albanese right here at home. We know Australia is part of Five Eyes, which is a critical intelligence gathering operation. They spoke on 60 Minutes last night, actually giving us an insight into what hostages may be experiencing in Gaza. So in terms of President Biden, right, he's got a lot on his plate. You know, if the House Republicans don't get it together, we could be kind of in a situation that we were in a month or so ago with the looming government shutdown. We have that. We have how that's crippling us in terms of providing aid to Israel, which we know that President Biden is currently getting together a very extensive package for that as well. In terms of what he has going on here at home, Bidenomics, we still have campaigning. So President Biden has a very busy week, months coming up ahead of him.
Yeah, everything's a little interconnected, you could say. Shanti, we also know this was supposed to be a big week for former President Donald Trump, the case concerning election interference that's happening in Georgia. So tell us what's the latest with that.
That's correct. Trump's former attorney, that's Kenneth Chesebro and Sidney Powell, were supposed to go to trial. Both of them caught plea deals, but Trump claims, he had nothing to do with Powell, which many are saying is obviously not true. The legal drama for Trump, though, all in all, is far from over, right? It's actually accelerating at this point. There's also a hearing in the E. Jean Carroll case. Just a reminder, Carroll is a journalist who won that sexual abuse and defamation case against former President Donald Trump. So no doubt a very busy week and even potentially months coming up ahead of him as well.
Okay, a lot we'll be continuing to watch. Ashanti, thanks so much. We'll chat with you tomorrow.
Thank you.
We are coming off a beautiful MEA weekend. Perhaps one of the best we've had in a while. Let's give you a quick glimpse at a little bit of everything here. Good morning, Ted. Tell us more about what we can expect coming off maybe one of the best MEA breaks we've had weather-wise and hitting that peak fall foliage.
Yeah, foliage combining with some beautiful sunshine. And yeah, it'll take a whirl around the radar as well, as we're going to see some shower activity with us for a little while. And you see the droplets in the camera lens already this morning, letting us know that it is raining as I look outside with our Lewis Didaldo live camera since midnight. In fact, most of this happening in the last hour. It's 0.13 of an inch of rain here in Rochester, officially at the airport, 0.14 in Decorah. Slightly more to the south. They've had a little more thunder also, and a little more of those downpours happening around Mesa City and Charles City. Those areas seeing some more impressive rainfall totals. Mesa City, 0.28 of an inch in Charles City. Rain migrating northeastward, weakening a little bit. We did have a little more of that orange on the radar, a little suggesting heavier downpours. Much lighter rain happening now. It's moving northeastward pretty quickly. By 7 o'clock, it'll be very hit or miss, and by the time we get to about 8:39, I think most of it will be off the map as it stands right now. We see clearing happening to the west, so we'll have rain at first. Morning commute will be dealing with that, but then it's mild sunshine. That will be ahead of us for the rest of the day. 45 in Rochester to kick off our back to school and back to work Monday. It's 47 in Osage, Mason City 49, and it's 45 in Decorah with some rain going on. Kind of a cool southeast breeze though. A little gusty at first. The winds will subside when that sun comes out later on. Right now, kind of a breezy morning, though. 45. It feels like 38. Winds 16 miles per hour. Definitely a raw and chilly morning. You'll need to cover up and be prepared for some rain, too. 46 with the morning commute with that south breeze. Then we have some sunshine later today. Temperatures in the 60s. Tomorrow, rain returns, especially in the afternoon. We'll have some thunder, maybe even some potent thunderstorms just for a portion of tomorrow. And we'll have those rain chances holding on for much of the week. The weekend looks downright chilly, though. We're above average to start the week today. but by the end of the week, way cooler than average. It all seems to even out. Certainly this week is typical of what you normally see late in the season, that variety. Showers moving out on future track. By lunchtime, we're enjoying some mild sunshine. Temperatures well into the 50s. We'll be in the mid-60s this afternoon. Clouds gathering later tonight, and after midnight, we start seeing these little isolated showers developing. Tomorrow, hit or miss activity at first, but moving into the afternoon, especially about 3 or 4 o'clock, we see this more widespread thunder across the map, especially on the Minnesota side of the border. That's where the most intense activity will be along an approaching front. Showers slowly taper off on Wednesday, especially in the morning hours. We'll have a couple of isolated showers going on. Rain chances today confined to the morning hours, becoming much weaker in the next couple of hours and tapering off completely altogether by 9 this morning. Level 1 out of 5, the risk for strong activity tomorrow, though, from the Storm Prediction Center. The primary threat, hail at this point, with that cool air aloft. Look for some thunderstorms tomorrow, more widespread activity. Again, Thursday, kind of an unsettled day with smaller doses of rain in between. The weekend does look like we'll have at least a few sparse showers, but maybe even some snowflakes mixing in with those rain chances, because this will be much colder this weekend. Rain chances over the next 5 days, up at least early Friday, 1 to 2 inches of rain in all of these chances. You can see why, because we have multiple opportunities for rain, and temperatures 60s and 70s, then 40s, and then 30s for highs by Sunday. And most of next week, even before we get to November, we're going to be averaging 30s for highs for a while, so much colder than average. 65 today is showers, then some afternoon sunshine. Winds for the southwest 10 to 20 miles per hour. A little bit of rain after midnight tonight. 55, a light south breeze. And the 7-day forecast, showers and some thunder tomorrow, and then a smaller chance of rain Wednesday. Thursday looking kind of wet. Periods of rain all day. And then moving to the weekend, maybe see a few wet snowflakes mixed in with that rain. It's going to be kind of breezy and cold, with temperatures about 10 to 15 degrees colder than average, and feeling like kind of middle of November rather than the end of October.
Yeah, this afternoon we might be wearing the shorts, the wool socks maybe for the weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be chilly, definitely.
Thanks, Ted.
It is 6:19. We have a preview of the first games for the high school Section 1A volleyball tournament. Plus, Vikings in prime time. We're going to look ahead to tonight's game at US Bank against the San Francisco 49ers. That's next in sports. And of course, remember, you can always get KTTC updates right at your fingertips on the go. Just download our free app to your smartphone.
KTTC.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Nick Spiliopoulos here with the top sports stories you need to know this morning. The Minnesota Vikings are on the Monday night stage going for their first home win of the season. Last week, Vikings got a win against the Chicago Bears. It wasn't the prettiest win, but Minnesota returns home for a primetime showdown against one of the best teams in the NFL right now, the San Francisco 49ers. Coming off their first loss of the season, Christian McCaffrey listed as questionable, but is expected to play tonight. The Vikings' run game has struggled, but Kene Nwangwu could return tonight. Coach KOC detailing what the workload could look like if Nwangwu can go.
We'll figure out whether we're putting individual guys in for plays, or it's more of a rhythm of the game type of thing. But we'll see that as well. But it will be nice. I mean, Kene looks outstanding. To get that kind of explosive athleticism back anywhere on your field, whether it is in the kicking game, the return game, gunner, whatever it is, and then infusing it back into your offense as well is a real positive.
And lastly, let's look at the first 4 first-round matchups in the Section 1A volleyball tournament. All these games take place at 7 p.m. Kingsland hosts Houston in the 17-16 match. Schaefer Academy heads to Southland. Plus, the Lyle Pacelli Athletics take on the Falcons of Wabasha Kellogg. The final first-round match in this tournament, the Blooming Prairie Awesome Blossoms welcome in Glenville Emmons in the 18 and 15 seed game. The winners advance to the second round. Those games will be played Thursday. Those are the top sports stories you need to know this morning. Have a great Monday, everyone.
Taylor Swift has topped the weekend box office again.
The Eras Tour, the movie, brought in more than $31 million in its second weekend in theaters. It beat out The Killers of the Flower Moon, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, which brought in an estimated $23 million. Total ticket sales for the Eras Tour movie have now topped $120 million. For scale, the singer self-produced it for a cost of $15 million.
I've heard it's a good one. Might have to go check it out. The SAG-AFTRA strike has now been underway for more than 3 months. The union says it will hold its next round of negotiations with the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers tomorrow. The two sides reportedly are at odds over a number of issues that include revenue sharing, salary, and the use of artificial intelligence. Contract negotiations broke down more than a week ago, and some of Hollywood's biggest names, including George Clooney and Tyler Perry, are urging the union to find a way forward to end this strike.
Some surprising news from Hollywood. We have learned actress Meryl Streep and her husband Don Gummer are separated. A representative for Streep tells People magazine the couple separated more than 6 years ago. Gummer is an artist. The couple married in 1978 and just recently marked their 45th wedding anniversary. Streep has been very private about her personal life, and this is the first time we're learning about the separation. The couple shares 4 adult children. It is 6:27, searching for suspects involved in some Halloween vandalism.
Yeah, a group was seen targeting yard decor in parts of Rochester. We'll tell you what we know and what residents are saying next. Making headlines this morning, vandals in Rochester are targeting Halloween decorations. We're going to hear from a homeowner who has fallen victim.
Plus, an inside look at the new accessible cabins at Ironwood Springs, all made possible by the Stewartville community.
And we are tracking some showers that are impacting the area this morning. We have several rounds of rain ahead of us this week as our pattern becomes very busy. The full forecast is coming up.
Live from your local news leader, this is KTTC News.
We begin this morning with a Lakeville man who died after a weekend motorcycle crash in Wabasha County. Good morning. I'm Kelsey Marrier.
And I'm Jess Abrahamson. Good morning. The Minnesota State Patrol will be releasing more information in the case at 8 this morning. This happened about 4 Sunday afternoon on Highway 60 near County Road 13. Troopers say the 36-year-old Lakeville man was traveling west on Highway 60 when he left the road, crashed, and died. Multiple agencies were at the scene. Stay tuned to KTTC.com as well as our noon news for the latest on this story.
Across state lines, a driver was airlifted to Mayo Clinic from northeast Iowa after a crash involving 2 firefighting vehicles. This happened at 4 Sunday afternoon on Exeter Avenue in Ionia, about 15 minutes east of Charles City. Troopers say the 2 vehicles were responding to a fire on their way there. Both were attempting to pass a slow-moving tractor on the road. The second truck ended up rear-ending the first vehicle, causing it to lose control and roll. We're told the driver was ejected and taken to Rochester by Air Care. No word on the extent of injuries. That crash is under investigation. A Rochester man says he's frustrated after a group of people apparently stole and vandalized his Halloween decorations over the weekend.
Security camera footage appears to show 6 people stealing and damaging the inflatable Minion decorations with tools and then leaving the scene. The homeowner, Gage Hansen, tells us this happened just before 2 Sunday morning and may have been done by teenagers. He says his dog spotted the vandals and likely scared them away.
We've had a couple people reach out to us that want to help attempt to compensate for some of our loss. We're very humbled and we appreciate it a lot. You know, the Minions mean a lot to us. We like to see them when we come home. Just put a smile on your face after a long day, and if I can make one kid happy, I'm doing a good thing.
Hansen says decorations from neighboring homes were also vandalized and stolen. Officers say they did receive a theft report, and if you have any information on these cases, you're asked to call Rochester Police.
Meanwhile, Clear Lake police are looking for a suspect who also stole some Halloween decorations. Home surveillance video from last Monday night shows a man taking the decor. Authorities are hoping that you can help identify him. Tips can be given anonymously. So if you know who this is on your screen or where he may be, please contact the Clear Lake Police Department. Let's head outside now on this Monday morning for a check of the forecast with meteorologist Ted Schmidt. It's been kind of raining on and off this morning. Ted, no umbrella right now.
No, I have it ready, but it actually be a nice little gap in the showers right now. The heaviest rain that I think we're going to encounter out of this round of rain this morning has already moved to east of Rochester. We're going to see maybe additional small dose of rain over the next couple of hours, but it really will be done by pretty much 9 o'clock, maybe even earlier than that in most spots. In fact, I do think we'll be looking at some sunshine shortly after that. So the morning commute may be a little wet at times over the next hour or two, but really it's going to get better in a hurry. Here's the current scene. Some wet pavement, certainly an idea where we've been in the last couple of hours. We've been dealing with rain, what we've been seeing, and that is the current image from our Lewiston auto camera. Rain has been going on here in Rochester at the studio. It's 47, winds with the south at 9 miles per hour, so it feels like the low 40s right now. 45 at the airport in Rochester. It's 45 with rain in Winona. Also some rain in La Crosse, but drier in Mason City there. It's 49. In Owatonna, 48. We have rain moving through the area. Watch the activity. It kind of weakens as it moves to the northeast. There has been some thunder, not nearly as much of that now as there was a couple of hours ago. Bulk of the rain now moving into Wisconsin. Look for leftover showers for the next 2 or 3 hours, and then we're drying out. We'll enjoy some sunshine. A great day for a dog walk after the rain moves out. Here's our dog walking forecast. We go to Iota, where Moose wants to take a walk. It looks like a good afternoon for a walk. We start the day in the 40s, but the afternoon looks fantastic. Kind of like the weather we had over the weekend. Some sunshine, 65 degrees later today. Bus stop forecast 46 with some light showers on the way to school. On the way home, 64 and some sun. Allergy report, moderate for grasses, everything else in the low range today. We'll have rain and then some sun on our forecast outlook. 65 today, one of the better days of the week. We do have rain chances just about each day this week, but not every day will be able to enjoy this much sun, and I think it looks good this afternoon.
We'll soak it in. Thank you, Ted. Starting today, Iowa Senator Chuck Grassley's office is going to be holding traveling office hours in 18 counties across the state, and some of those are in our area. Today, some of Grassley's staff members will be in Floyd County at the Charles City Hall. That's going to be from 12:30 until 1:30. Availability tomorrow is at the Thompson Public Library in Winnebago County from 10 to 11, the Garner Public Library in Hancock County from 1 to 2, and the Eagle Grove Library in Wright County from 3 until 4. And the last available slot in Northeast Iowa is next Monday, the 30th, and that's from 10 until 11. At the Harpers Ferry City office in Winnebago County. The Senator's office is holding these office hours to allow Iowans to find solutions to a variety of issues or simply share their views on matters of federal policy. We're going to have all the details on our website, kttc.com.
The city of Albert Lea is considering hiring an engineering firm to install solar power systems to its wastewater treatment plant and city arena. And you can learn about this project at the city council meeting happening tonight. The solar field at the wastewater plant would cover 2 acres off South Shore Drive. The city says it would produce enough energy to power 16 homes and would generate $70,000 worth of energy per year. The $1.5 million system would cost the city $900,000 after it receives a $600,000 federal grant. At the city arena, the solar system would be mounted on the roof and would help power that building, costing the city around $268,000 after a federal grant. So the city council meeting to learn more about all of this gets underway at 7 tonight at City Hall. As wedding season comes to a close, we know engagement season will then be right around the corner.
And local industry analysts are expecting to see a jump in diamond retail sales during the winter holidays and into early 2024. So our Darian Letty has been looking into this and is joining us with more on all of the sparkling details this morning. So you actually talked with some local jewelers about this engagement boom they're anticipating.
Yeah, that's right, Jess and Kelsey. It is coming to our area and they're getting prepared. Business is really picking up for these stores in Rochester, and the pandemic actually impacted this industry a lot because people weren't able to go out and meet people and go on dates, so people weren't getting together. But once things started to open back up a few years ago, people started dating again. And now those couples who have been dating for about 2 to 3 years, that's about the average time that couples date before taking that next step, they're thinking about this and they may need a ring. Lasker Jewelers has been in Rochester for decades. Their staff tells me that they're gearing up for a busy next couple of months.
Engagement rings have been part of our business forever, so we do all year long focus on the engagement ring. We do have new collections coming in to feature, the new trends in engagement rings. There's a lot of simple styles that have been timeless forever, and then some newer trends that are a little more modern coming into play now.
And when it comes for paying for the ring, Lasker employees say it's different for all couples, but they recommend everyone should come in with a budget when they come into the store. I got to try on some of the rings. Here's me trying on a $60,000 ring. Yeah, you heard that right, 60. It was the first one I tried on, so it was a little intimidating, but it was fun to be able to try on different styles and see what's popular. You know, those blingy items are popular, but so are kind of the more simple ones. So whatever the style is for your partner, there's something there, I think.
Bling looks very good on you.
Thank you. I like the shine. It looked so pretty on the video.
Yes, you have a future, I think, as a hand model. Okay. Should that ever appeal to you?
I'll work on it.
Thank you, Darian.
Thank you.
Republicans hope they can finally seat a Speaker of the House this week and get back to business after weeks without a leader.
Meanwhile, President Biden is hosting officials from Australia, and GOP presidential hopefuls are on the move. KTTC's Washington correspondent Ryan Henson has a preview of our week ahead in D.C.
House Republicans look to iron out the dysfunction this week after Jim Jordan failed to win the Speaker's seat on Friday. There's a candidates forum at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday, with a possible vote on Tuesday. The House has been paralyzed and unable to conduct business since Kevin McCarthy was voted out on October 3rd. On Wednesday, President Joe Biden will host the Australian Prime Minister at the White House to renew the commitment to a strong Indo-Pacific alliance. Republican presidential hopeful Vivek Ramaswamy stops by the Hudson Institute in D.C. to discuss how his foreign policy plans impact the homeland and Middle East. GOP candidates will end the week with a trip to Las Vegas for the Republican Jewish Coalition Annual Leadership Summit. The third quarter GDP report comes out on Thursday morning. It's the broadest measure of how the American economy is performing. In Washington, I'm Ryan Henson.
Detroit police and the FBI are investigating after a synagogue leader and a pillar of the city's Jewish community was killed over the weekend. She was found stabbed to death outside her home Saturday morning. NBC's Jesse Kirsch has the latest details for us this morning from Detroit.
Good morning. I'm Jesse Kirsch in Detroit, where police say this Jewish synagogue's board president was found repeatedly stabbed and killed over the weekend. Authorities say that there was a trail of blood leading back to the home of 40-year-old Samantha Wall. And as you can imagine, her loved ones are devastated by this news. There was a funeral service held for her on Sunday, and all of this is happening as authorities continue looking into who is responsible for her death. The police chief here in Detroit making a point of saying that so far, quote, no evidence has surfaced suggesting that this crime was motivated by anti-Semitism. But of course, this comes at a time when there is concern for Jewish Americans, Arab Americans, and Muslim Americans because of what is unfolding in the Middle East. There have been tense moments and tense incidents in recent days across the country, and we'll have the latest on that as well as what more we're learning from authorities. That and much more coming up on Today.
An investigation is underway after a fire led to a partial collapse of a building that was under construction in southeast Washington, D.C. Flames and thick clouds of smoke could be seen coming from the 3-story building on Sunday. Authorities say no one was hurt. However, 5 adults, 5 kids, and 2 dogs from different homes have been displaced because of this blaze. Here at home, a transformation is happening at Ironwood Springs Christian Ranch in Stewartville.
The camp now has 3 new cabins. These new buildings will be used to accommodate people with disabilities and military families for Ironwood's camp programs. This is part of Ironwood's goal to make everything accessible. The founder tells us the buildings were made possible by local businesses and residents who donated their time, money, and materials.
It's a day to celebrate the goodness of God and the community. We want the community to know that they built these cabins, they put their heart into it, they're sacrificed their time, and here we are today to celebrate and then move on to start filling them up with families and people.
Each cabin has 4 rooms with 3 bedrooms, a large bathroom with an accessible shower, a small kitchen, and a living room. And what a beautiful weekend to celebrate those beautiful new cabins. It is 6:42 on a Monday morning. It's starting out on a rainy note, but Ted says change is on the way throughout the day. It's going to be bright and beautiful. More when we return.
every morning, everything is. Here's your First Alert weather with meteorologist Ted Schmidt.
After a beautiful weekend, things are a little unsettled to start our Monday, but the good news is it's not going to be like this all day. A little rain now. A lot of sunshine moving forward through the vast majority of the day. But right now, there is some rain on the radar. And if you look closely at some of the camera lenses, you see some droplets here and there. And we've had some rain on the camera so far in Rochester, but beginning to dry out. In fact, we've been rain-free for about the last 20 minutes here on the weather patio. That's the current scene from some of our Lewiston auto cameras. Showers now moving to the north and east. Still a couple of redeveloping showers. A little lightning being detected on the radar as it approaches Interstate 35 between Owatonna down toward Albert Lee. Clark's Grove, this activity migrating northeastward. So maybe some thunder in Rochester's future in the next hour or so. Otherwise, some lightning also being detected near Decorah, near Lime Springs in northeast Iowa. So far since midnight, 1,300ths of an inch of rain, most of that happening around 5 or 6 o'clock this morning, at least an hour or an hour and a half ago in that time frame. A little more than a quarter inch in Mason City, 3,800ths in Charles City. So a decent amount of rainfall so far today. Temperatures yesterday were in the 50s. We reached briefly a high of 58 in Rochester. We had some nice sunshine to help the cause. Since then, we've been dealing with clouds, showers, and readings in the 40s. That's where we've been all morning. We're going to warm from there right back to the 60s later today with the addition of some sunshine. Showers will move out by mid-morning. Most of those pretty much done by 9 o'clock. We see clearing happening to the west. It's going to be a very busy pattern, though. More of these waves of energy coming in from the southwest will give us more and more chances of rain over the next few days. Each day, at least a portion of each day, will feature a chance of rain this week. It's not going to rain the entire time, but it's going to be kind of unsettled. 45 in Rochester, it's 49 in Osage, 46 in Albert Lee. Mason City, 49. It was rather thunderous earlier this morning in Mason City, but a little drier now, and temperatures are recovering a little bit. 45 in Rochester, light rain falling at the airport. Winds from the southeast kind of brisk, make it feel like 38. Winds 16 miles per hour. The morning commute features at least a chance of some light showers. 46 degrees. Cool breeze with clouds at first. Then by the end of the morning commute, we start seeing sunshine. We'll have some sun for the majority of the day, but rain chances will be with us each day. Mild at first. By the time we get to the weekend, it's not going to be mild. It's going to be much colder than average. We're going to go from one end of the scale to the other with temperatures. A lot of variety this week. But showers and a stray thunderstorm this morning, those go on until about 9 o'clock. Then we break out to sunshine. South breeze at first a little more noticeable. It'll be diminishing this afternoon. Tonight, temperatures in the 50s, clouds gathering late, showers after midnight. Very isolated at first. A little bit of that very isolated rain tomorrow at first in the morning. Then we see more widespread showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon and evening, especially on the Minnesota side of the border. Best chance of maybe some strong activity will be on the Minnesota side of the border with hail. A concern is just a couple of those storms. Pretty low chance, though. A stray shower or two on Wednesday before more widespread rain reaches us on Thursday. That may the Tuesday and Thursday by far the wettest days of the week. Rain chances this morning tapering off for the next couple of hours. Low end of the scale, though. Very hit or miss activity. Then the sunshine with us and a little breezy, but winds really diminishing after lunchtime today. Severe weather risk level 1 of 5 from the Storm Prediction Center for our Minnesota and Wisconsin counties. Hail the primary threat after 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And we'll have some showers and maybe a little thunder on Thursday as well. And rain chances into the weekend with a smaller chance heading into the weekend. Rainfall amounts may yield as much as an inch or two in the future heading into the next 5 days. And the temperatures over the next several days really going downhill. 60s and 70s, then 40s, even 30s. And it does look like next week we will spend most of the time with highs in the 30s. Hard to imagine. That is pretty cold for the end of October, and certainly cold for Halloween. 65 today, showers, then some sunshine. Southwest winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. A few showers late tonight, 55. And a 7-day forecast, showers, a couple thunderstorms, 60s. Then we see even snowflakes may mix in with some of those showers over the weekend. I'm not promising shovelable snow. It would not be unusual, though. We've had snow 4 of the past 6 years in October.
Okay.
Measurable snow. I don't think this will be the case, but the weekend does look pretty rough, though. Cold and blustery.
Yeah, well, and I know a lot of people are going to have their eyes on the coming days after Sunday for Halloween, knowing if they're going to need to bundle up a little more for their costumes or not.
Of course, almost always you do have to, but this time around especially. especially speaking, it may be particularly cold. Yeah.
Yeah, the costume has moon boots, a plus.
Hey, there you go. Let's just hope for
This is
not
the year to
another-
go with Sasquatch.
Hey, that's a good costume idea right there, Ted. Thank you. It is 6:50. A popular fast food chain is agreeing to pay out millions of dollars for inflating prices during the pandemic.
Meanwhile, two big grocery chains are promising to save shoppers money on their holiday feasts. First on a Monday, here's Hoda.
Coming up, they can play football and sing. Chanel has an exclusive first look at the Philadelphia Eagles' upcoming holiday album for a worthy cause. Wait until you hear the classic that Jason Kelce and his teammates are tackling later on today.
KTTC weather brought to you by Bob's Construction.
Chick-fil-A has reportedly agreed to settle a class action lawsuit over inflated delivery prices during the pandemic.
According to the lawsuit filed in Georgia, the food chain promised low delivery fees through its app or website, but then increased menu items on delivery orders by as much as 30%. Chick-fil-A did not admit guilt, but has agreed to pay out $4.4 million in the settlement. Eligible customers should receive either cash or a gift card in the amount of $29. If you are eligible, you will be receiving an email. Chick-fil-A also has agreed to add a disclosure on its app and website, stating that product prices may be higher for delivery orders. Chick-fil-A has not returned requests for comment.
Aldi and Walmart are giving shoppers something to be thankful for on Thanksgiving. The two grocery chains are reducing prices on some of the staples of the holiday feast. Walmart says it's going to be offering 2 Thanksgiving meals that are lower prices than last year. One will come with just the ingredients. You can cook that from scratch. The other has some ready-to-bake options. You can order the meals beginning November 1st on the Walmart app or walmart.com. The special runs through December 26th. Meanwhile, Aldi will be lowering the price on more than 70 items by up to 50%. That also begins on November 1st and runs through the end of the year. It is 6:55. Let's take a look at your commute this morning. It's been a little wet, as you can see there on Highway 52 from 6th Street Southwest, but Ted says the sun will return. We'll be right back.
KTTC Traffic Cam brought to you by Cars.
It is 6:57. A Lakeville man is dead after a weekend motorcycle accident in Wabasha County. The Minnesota State Patrol will be releasing additional details at 8 this morning. This happened about 4 Sunday afternoon on Highway 60 near County Road 13. Troopers say the 36-year-old Lakeville man was traveling west when he left the road, crashed, and died. We'll have an update right here on our noon news.
A Rochester man says he's frustrated after a group of people apparently stole and vandalized his Halloween decorations over the weekend. Security camera footage you see here appears to show 6 people stealing and damaging inflatable minion decorations with tools and then leaving the scene. It happened just before 2 Sunday morning and may have been done by teenagers. So if you have any information about who is involved, please call the Rochester Police Department.
Starting today, Iowa Senator Chuck Grassley's office is going to be holding some traveling office hours. This is happening in 18 counties across the state, including some in our area. Today, some of Grassley's staff members will be in Charles City at the City Hall there from 12:30 until 1:30. Tomorrow, there's availability at the Thompson Public Library in Winnebago County from 10 to 11. The Garner Public Library from 1 to 2, and Eagle Grove Library from 3 until 4. And then the last slot is in next Monday, the 30th, for Northeast Iowa. That's from 10 until 11 at the Harpers Ferry City Office. The Senator's office is holding these events as an effort to try to find solutions and to simply share viewpoints on matters of federal policy.
Finally this morning, a sure sign the holidays are right around the corner. The Rockettes have officially kicked off their rehearsals for the Christmas Spectacular. The iconic dancers high-stepped and learned some new moves at St. Paul the Apostle Church last week, and this is where rehearsals take place until dress rehearsals begin at Radio City Music Hall. Of course, performances for this begin November 17th, which is also a special day for our very own Ted Schmidt. That is his birthday, so 2 things to look forward to.
Yeah, maybe you can do a high kick to celebrate your big day.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be a very high kick.
You might have to stretch for that.
Yeah, you can work up to it.
Try to get be able to kick over my Yeah, my waist.
Yeah.
That's pretty high. Weather today, a little bit of rain. If you get a kick out of showers, you'll like that. But the sun is on its way for the rest of the day. Showers until about 9, then some sun. Looking for a high of 65 today. It looks like we'll have a rain chance at least a portion of each of the next 5 or 6 days this week.
Thanks.